that I'm teaching. I typically, during the course of the year, I do a few boot camps where I teach the basics and fundamentals of investing and trading. I do have something really cool coming up in January that I'll be announcing soon. But every November, I try to do a class that is not related to the beginner trading and investing stuff, but kind of do a different take on things. And so tonight is the start of the trading psychology class. And I actually haven't taught this in a very, very long time. It's probably been about 2.5 years. And it's a different kind of class because there's quite a bit of work that goes into this. Thank you, Shankar. Because I'm going to be requiring a lot of you guys here tonight. In this session and in the sessions that follow, because you're all here obviously because you have an interest in trading and investing. And for those of you who are pursuing it, you know that it's a lot of work. It's not just something where, you start doing it immediately and you're making money. And it's even something after a long time that you've been doing it. As we know, trading and investing always involves risk. It does involve losing. You're going to lose. It's part of it. But a big component of trading and investing is the psychology component, how we think about things, what our mindset is. And a lot of people just dismiss it and don't think that it applies, but it is very much a part of trading. And in fact, I would say that the majority of trading is being able to control this thing here and being able to persevere in moments where things get challenging because they're going to. And so, what we're going to do over these next 5 classes is really help you build a system for managing your psychology, for really thinking deeply about what your beliefs are regarding money, regarding wealth, regarding winning trades, losing trades, and then helping you build a system to manage that. So, again, this is going to require work on your end. And so I told everybody to have a notebook. I've got a brand new notebook here. You can't, I don't want to block myself, but I'm going to be doing all of these exercises with you here tonight, and I'll get more into that here in a second. But what I can promise you is that if you give all of the exercises that I share with you tonight, that we walk through, and I'm going to be pausing at times to give you time to write things down. But if you do these exercises, if you really give yourself to this class over the next 5 sessions, what you'll have when you leave here is a roadmap and a guide that is going to direct you moving forward. And so that's what I ask of you is just your full engagement, ask questions, use the chat, but really just let your guard down to yourself, participate. And I think what you'll see when we finish this and when you wrap up this course will be something pretty special. So that's just a little overview. And then for those of you, I think you guys know me. My name is Jeremy Ritz. I'm the owner of Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading. I am a full-time trader and investor, business owner. I also, do some business work with Go High Level Systems. Trading only requires really a small chunk of your day. So I got to a point this year where it was like, man, sitting in front of a computer screen is nice and I love doing it, but I also enjoy building systems, building things. And so that's where the business comes into play. The YouTube channel, I still get to teach, former teacher and principal, which I'll always be an educator at heart. And in fact, I've told my wife that, once all of our kids are gone and are out of the house, I will probably go back and teach in the public education system one more time, just because I enjoy students, I enjoy teaching, and so that's going to be my final final act once this is all said and done. I'm obviously going to trade and invest for the rest of my life, but I am a father of 3 beautiful children. I have a wonderful wife, and I'm just grateful. And I am excited to be here with all of you. So thank you for signing up and thank you for joining me. So I'm going to share my slides here, the former teacher that I am. So give me a second while I do this. Let me pull these up here. And I will pause at times to have a drink of water. So if you see me sip a glass of water here, that's because I'm maybe getting parched a little bit. But let me just confirm you guys can see the slides. I've learned in my teaching my classes, yes, teaching is definitely a labor of love. All right, you guys can see my slides. Fantastic. Because I have taught for 20 minutes and haven't checked the chat, and then everybody was like, Jeremy, we can't see your slides. So I always confirm before I move on. Oh, Gears. I pronounced it, Brian. I got it right. Brian is in the house too. What's going on, Brian? All right. So, trading psychology, mastering the mind of wealth, taught by yours truly. So, in this class, these are the outcomes. So, any lesson that you have, we have to know what our target is. And these are our targets here. So no matter where you're coming into this class, no matter where you're at in your journey in trading and investing, whether you're just thinking about it, you've dabbled your toe in it a little bit, you're full in, this class can benefit you. And really, it's going to help you no matter where you are. But when this class is over, what I'm going to help you do, and these terms might seem a little bit technical, I'll break these down here. We're going to develop systems to guide your trading. So basically, we're going to take all the guesswork out of your trading for you, so you're not stuck, overwhelmed, saying, "What do I do?" We're going to help you build your trading plan in this class. So that's going to be one of the benefits from it. But we're also going to have a plan for your mindset. So we're going to build all that together. We're also, and we're going to do this tonight, and this is where that reflection, the writing piece is going to come into play. We're going to reflect on your beliefs about money, wealth, trading, and we're going to help you determine what your goals are. And that's something that, I don't know, let me just ask the question now. How many of you have, in the serious, all honesty, have thought about what you believe about money? What are your beliefs around money and wealth? Has anybody did that? All right. Bill and Heather have. All right. Well, I'm guessing you're probably far ahead of the game. All right. Shankar have. All right. We got people who've thought about that. Okay, great. Well, you're really going to think about it tonight because I'm going to ask you to do that. Brian has. Wonderful. All right. We're going to explore those beliefs here tonight and look at them, and we're going to see if they are serving you or empowering you. And if they're not, we're going to talk about how we can transform them into ones that can benefit us. We're also going to create tools that allow us to track and manage our profits and losses in trading, because if you watch any of my content on YouTube, you'll often hear me tell you that you have to treat your trading and investing like a business. And when you don't, that's going to lead to losses that potentially you can't recover from. So we're going to help you design those tools. We're going to talk about your beliefs around winning and losing. We're going to look at what the psychology is behind winning and losing trades. And then ultimately, when you're finished with this course, if you do all the exercises, you're going to have a personalized system that's going to organize and lead your training. So it's quite a lot. We'll take a look at what the actual classes will cover. I have the curriculum detailed. But before I do that, this is a free class, but I have one ask of all of you tonight. Okay. And here it is. Very simple. All right. So you guys know I have a YouTube channel that I am growing organically. I'm not selling myself out by paying for subscribers or views or anything like that. I just try to crank out content. I'm still learning how to up the presentation quality and all those things. But here's what I would like to ask. I'm hoping everybody here tonight is subscribed. If you're not, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and throw video on while you're in this class. Let it run in the background. I get credit for that watch. Like it, share with someone else, and if you could, drop a comment on one of the videos. So I did post a video earlier today in my Driven series. So if you want to check that one out, I did a short at the end of the day, kind of wrapping up the big bearish day that we had in the market. But oh, look at this. Everybody's saying done. Well, my gratitude to you. So if you already did one, do an extra one just for me. All right. That's the payment for this course. All right. But I have a ton of fun doing it. All right. So just to go over the future class dates. So we're going to have 4 more classes that follow this one. Our next class will be on the 20th. Then we'll be meeting the 24th. And then we have 2 dates in December, December 4th and December 11th. Classes will be around between, I'd say, 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe we go a little bit over hour 10, hour 15. If you have to hop off, I was a principal in my former life. I'm not a principal anymore. I'm not going to write you up. You're grown men and women. You do whatever you need to do. But these are the dates for our class. And why are we here? What we're trying to do is increase our profitability as traders and investors. We want to maximize our returns. And it's more than just technicals and the charts. That's a huge part of it, obviously. You have to know how to do that. You have to know how to read sentiment. You have to know how to read candlesticks, how to use indicators. But like I said, the biggest part of training is this thing right here and making sure that you're in control of it and that it's not in control of you. And we're going to tighten that up so that you can increase your profitability. And so the content that we're going to cover, so this is going to lay out everything that we are going to cover in these classes, because you might be having questions. Well, we were talking a lot about beliefs and these things, but when do we actually get into the psychology behind trade? So let me lay it out for you. So tonight we are going to spend time really just examining your beliefs, your values, and what your mindset currently is around money. And there is a method to all this. So trust the process. I often say that to my coaching students, that you have to trust the process. So I'm asking you to trust the process. And so that's what we're going to spend a lot of time doing tonight. So there's going to be pauses where I'm asking you to write. I'll ask some of you guys to share in the chat. And then when we go to our next 2 sessions, we're going to get into systems. And this is where we're going to talk about trading plans. What are the qualities of an effective trading plan? SMART goals and their importance. How to review and update your trading plan. We'll look at examples, long-term investing plans, and then tracking your data in terms of daily trades, investments that you make, daily P&L, monthly P&L, and how to reflect and self-evaluate so that you can make adjustments and changes to the way that you do things so that you can continually improve. All right. And then, depending on how much we cover, we might get to some of this earlier. Then we're going to get into the psychology components of losing trades and of winning trades. So we're really starting with you first and your mindset. And then we're going to get into the research behind the emotions of losing. What do we feel whenever we experience those losing trades? But then looking into, how do you feel when you experience losing trades or a recent loss that you had? How do you react? Discussing whether or not losses can be prevented, and then talking about strategies to mitigate losses and how to manage losses. Because again, in trading and investing, it's just an inevitable part of the process. We're also going to look at the second part of that, which is psychology of winning trades, because we oftentimes focus on losing trades, but we don't really think about the emotions of winning and how, if we let those sweep us away, carry us away, and we get on a high where we feel like we're invincible, we can't lose, what checkpoints do we have in place for ourselves to say, hey, timeout, I need to pause, or the market's about to wreck me? Because that can happen. So we're going to look into and explore and examine the emotions of winning trades, what it means to win a trade, what does it mean to you individually, how to maximize your winners with strategies, and then how to become a grateful winner. And then finally, in our last session, we're going to bring it all together We're going to reflect on our routine. So I'm going to have you look at your trading and investing routine. Do you have a process that you follow from the setting where you do it? What is the environment? We're going to look at it all. So things that you probably never even thought about in terms of how they impact your psychology, you're going to think about them in this course. So this is a packed class. We have quite a bit to do. We'll look at examples of a trading routine, and then we're going to review everything that we've covered here in the course. And you will leave here with a system that I'm confident will serve you moving forward. So it's quite a lot. Any questions before we go ahead and drive in? Drive in, dive in. Are we going to watch a movie? All right, Paul says, let's get it. So let's go ahead and go get those notebooks ready. And let me pull up my timer here because we are going to need it. Here we go. And let's go. All right. So we are going to start by talking about beliefs. And I started by asking you guys earlier, how many of you think about your beliefs related to money? And several of you, to your credit, do. And I'm sure many of you out there also as well. But believe it or not, a lot of people don't stop to think about their beliefs about money, where they come from, and whether or not they support them where they currently are. But let's first just start with a general definition of what a belief is. In its purest form, it's something that we accept or believe to be true, right? So it's something that we believe, non-negotiable, this is true. And think about that for a second. If you believe something is true, it's going to influence your behavior. It's going to not just impact you, it's going to impact others around you. It's going to shape your environment. So that's why we really have to think about what our beliefs are, not just about money, but about everything in general in our lives, if we're really going to be aware and conscious of the life that we're living. And so, just for a moment, you don't have to write anything down yet. All right. You're going to be sick of writing before the night's over. But I want you to think of one area in your life where you are the most successful and fulfilled. All right. So stop and think about that for a second. The one area in your life where you are the most successful and fulfilled. All right. And then the second part of that, what are the beliefs that you have about this area of your life? All right. And I'm sure, like for me, when I think about one of the areas where I'm most successful and is most fulfilling, it's me being a father. That's the most important to me. And one of my primary beliefs is that my responsibility is to be there for my children in order for them to have a great life. That's my belief. So that belief, when I ask, does that belief support me? Yes, it does, because it ensures that I'm doing everything I need to do to make sure they're taken care of. Does it support others? Yes, it does. It ensures that they're taken care of. It ensures that my wife is taken care of, that our family's taken care of, and that generationally down the road, that the family continues and grows. So the reason why I wanted you to think about that is an area where you're high performing, you more than likely have a belief there that not only supports you and it supports others. And when you have a belief like that, that is a high quality belief. Yeah. So the second question there, Paul, and I'm going to share these slides with you guys too, so you'll have that and you'll have the video too. The second question was, do your beliefs support you and do they support others? Okay. So we want to question our beliefs to see if they do support us, they do support others, and if they do, then that belief is one that we want to hold tight. We want to keep. We have high quality beliefs. All right. So now we're going to shift to start thinking about money. Now, here are some common beliefs about money. And some of these are probably more negatively skewed. All right. And so here's some common examples. And read through these with me. I'll read them aloud, but go ahead and throw one in there if you've in the chat. Throw one in the chat if you heard these before. Money is hard to earn, or rich people are lucky and dishonest. I'm not good with money. I need to save every penny to be secure. I know my mom always used to say to me, she's like, you never know what's going to happen. You got to be careful with your money. So there was, a scarcity mindset around that I still have to attack every day. More money will solve my problems, right? That's not true. And trading will teach you that. If anything, just kind of a side note, trading will show you where you really need to grow in your life. I've experienced that. Investing is too risky. Making a lot of money is selfish. I don't deserve wealth. So these are some common beliefs that everyday people like you and I have, right? Or may not be willing to admit that we have. All right. But what I want to do now is I want you to think about what your beliefs are about money. Okay. And I'm going to take 3 minutes. I'm going to time 3 minutes. This is where I said that we're going to write. And this is where I'm asking you to be open and reflect on these things. There's a method to this whole purpose. Again, it's all going to come together through this course. Then I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. All right. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to be writing too. I'm going through this process with you guys because it's a good opportunity for me to reflect and reevaluate as we head into the new year. But I want you to write out your beliefs about money and wealth. You don't have to write huge sentences. You could just jot things down. You could jot notes, but write down what your beliefs about money are and what your beliefs about wealth are. All right. You're not answering the question, do they support you? Do they support others? Are they high quality beliefs? Don't do any of that yet. Just what your beliefs are right now at this moment about money. They could be positive, they could be negative. It doesn't matter. But I want you to write those. I'm going to get my notebook ready. We're going to take 3 minutes. When I say go get started. And then I'll ask for you guys to share. If somebody's willing to share, we'll type it in the chat. You guys ready? Give me a 7 if you're ready. All right, we got some 7s. All right, ready? Go. 3 minutes. All right, we got about 1 minute left. All And it's 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. Perfect. Am I unmuted? Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure I unmute myself. All right, cool. All right. So, how was that? Anybody have any reactions to the beliefs that they came up with? All right. So we have, all right. So Paul is jumping in here to share. So if you want to share, go ahead. Um, Financial freedom. I want to be able to help others with it, being my own boss, support my family. So Paula believes that money is financial freedom. Okay. David believes money is challenging. Okay. This is good. I'll share a few with you guys that I had. Um, Money and wealth ensures security and safety. Here's another one from Shankar. Money brings a lot of power, and I believe in the power it gives. It does, right? And with a lot of power comes responsibility. Uh, we have thought about this our whole time together. There is so much to learn, and it can be confusing, overwhelming. Yes, great. These are all great. I have this one. Money doesn't last forever. You can't take it with you, right? And I know that sometimes, I have to check myself and just remind myself that, hey, this is not the most important thing in your life, right? It's our relationships, it's our family. Um, so that's one that I had written down here. All right, so great, you guys have that written down. So now, if we go back, but we can leave it for our loved ones, absolutely. Yes, we can. Let's go to the next part of this. Um, so we're going to analyze our beliefs about money and wealth. So we have to ask the question, do our beliefs about money and wealth that we just wrote down, and these are the questions we asked earlier when you thought about that area where you're thriving at in life, do they support you and do they support others and are they inspiring? So I want you to think about that. All right. And I also want you to think, where do these beliefs come from? Are they your own? So I know one of the beliefs was money is challenging. Is that your own belief? Or money and wealth is freedom? Did you create that belief or did that come from somewhere else? Where's the origin of it? So think about that and just take a few minutes and think about your beliefs from this perspective. And we'll just take a minute to do this one. All right. You don't have to write anything down with this. If you want to jot some notes down, that's fine. But analyze your beliefs from that perspective. Yeah, wow, where did our beliefs come from? Because a lot of times they're not from us. We carry them from somewhere else. So just take about 1 minute. All right. So what did you guys come up with here? So let's just start with this first question. How many of you feel like the majority of your beliefs about money support you and they support others and are inspiring and when you think about them, they move you forward. They're motivating. When you assess your money beliefs, do they satisfy that? I have one on here just to share with you guys. Wanting too much money can lead to one's downfall, which is stated negatively. But that doesn't support me, that doesn't support others, and that's not an inspiring belief. So I have to revisit that one. Paula says, yes, I support myself and others, and it is a tool to help and drive growth. So those are solid beliefs. You want to hang on to those. Anybody else want to share? My beliefs come from within. I've had many successes and many failures. They don't support me or others. Okay. So, David, what you can do with the beliefs that you have written out, and we're going to talk about this here in a second, is try to transform it, re-language it into something that is inspiring and empowering. And just the writing of it on the page doesn't change it, but it's the first step in doing that because committing it to a page makes it real. But then the hard work is then living that belief, right? So shifting from money is challenging to obtain to money is abundant and available to everyone, which it is because, if you just think about the stock market, right? This is trading and investing class. There's quadrillion dollars. I think it's like 2.4 quadrillion. I used to say it was four, but 2.4 quadrillion dollars are exchanged every year in the stock market alone, which I don't even know how many zeros that is. But get this, the bond market is like 6 to 8 times the size of the stock market. So the money is there, right? It's ready available to all of us. We just have to open up to accept it or find the ways to bring it into our lives. All right. How about this one? I know some of you'd answer this. Do you Are your beliefs from yourself? Do they originate in yourself or were they passed down? I shared the example how the one from my mom was passed on to me. Where saying, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. So there's always that scarcity mindset. Did anybody have any? So Wade has passed down from mom. Okay. And that's a lot of times too, things that we believe, and sometimes they're good and they are empowering beliefs, but sometimes maybe not so much. Right. So we have to look at where they come from. Paul says, myself, my own screw ups. Everybody has their own screw ups. You're not alone in that one, brother. Um, Brian says, my grandmother said the same thing as my, yeah, that's the Western PA, man. Growing up in the same area for sure. Uh, Brian G says, beliefs are passed down, but in the past few years with trading have created my own. Okay. Rooted from the Bible. All right. Um, Self not passed down. Parents do nothing about money and finances. Same for me. My parents were never uh, financially sound. If they were sitting here tonight, I would say the same. They would acknowledge that. So I never had any education around finances. I'll tell you this, my kids will, right? Because I have the responsibility and the awareness, right? So you see all these things that can come out of this when you sit down and do this activity, but how many people actually sit and think about their beliefs about money? And it might seem like a bit of an awkward task, but it's a process of self-evaluation and getting to know yourself and understand yourself and seeing where these thoughts and feelings and beliefs come from that can really help optimize your mindset and get you in the right headspace you need to be to bring more of it into your life. Yeah, Paul says didn't come for money. Yep, neither did I. um, Paul said if it was up to them, they would have put their money under a mattress or buried in the backyard. To this day, my mom still does that, and she's like, "When I pass, I hide money around the apartment." It's like, okay, mom, how much is it? Because you could be getting a better return, even if it's just idle cash sitting in interactive brokers. But you're not changing that belief. You do get to a point where that belief is just cemented. All right, so here's the next step. Take one of those beliefs that doesn't empower you or empower others and change it, upgrade it, transform it so that it can be empowering. And let's just take a minute and a half for this one. You don't have to do this for all of them, but take that one negative belief that you may have. I'm going to get the timer back out. Take that one negative belief that you may have and transform it into one that is empowering. I'm going to do this for my uh, wanting money too much can lead to one's downfall. All right, so go ahead. I got the timer going. All right. So, so David already did one here because I think he mentioned earlier that there's so much to learn about money that it can be confusing, overwhelming. So he reframed it as I can learn about money 100%. It takes that negative part out of it. So I changed mine. Wanting too much money can lead to one's downfall. To achieving an abundance of money not only helps you and your family elevate your lives, but it can also be used to uplift others. So instead of looking at it as, oh, it's just for, wanting all this money for one person, it's what's the good that you could do for it. And a little side note too, you have, oftentimes you hear, these CEOs of large companies, and whatever. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but the jobs that they create through these companies does provide um, abundance for a lot of people, right? So just a different way of looking at it. Wade, I am worthy of abundance and wealth for my family and others. Love it. So Paul, fear of losing gains. So turn it into thank you when the money leaves because it allowed me to live my life. Yes. Or the flip side of that, for any losing trade or losing investment that you had, there's always a winner on the other side, right? If I stay consistent and surround myself with like-minded people, I can learn. Awesome. These are all great, great stuff. All right. So yeah, right. So thank you for money coming and going. Yes. It's always coming and going, right? It's constantly, constantly. All right. So we're thinking here. All right. So we got those beliefs. Save those notes. All right. Because at the end, I have homework for you guys to do. All right. So don't lose that. All right. So now let's talk about values. And we're going to talk specifically about trading and investing values. But let's just talk for a moment about what values are. And when we think about values, these are things that are important to you in your life. So if we think about the values for our lives, they're the fundamental principles, and I have beliefs down here, but we just talked about beliefs that guide your life. Or in relation to trading and investing, they're the principles, the concepts that guide your trading and investing. So if I looked at my life, for instance, and what I value, going back to, what's most important to me, my family. Family is a value. My children is a value. Responsibility is a value. Those are all things that are important to me. And since family and responsibility are important to me, they are going to guide my behavior. That's what values do. They guide your behavior. Okay. And we have to think about what's important to us in terms of those concepts, those principles in relation to trading and investing. So we know what it is we want to guide our trading and investing. So here's the next activity. All right. So remember, I told you guys you're going to do a lot of writing. Again, there's a method to all of this. We're going to take, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot for this. We're going to do a minute and a half. So this is just going to be a brain dump on the page. I want you to list out all the values you have regarding trading and investing. Or if you're not trading and investing yet, about money. Okay. So just go ahead and do a brain dump. And then we're going to narrow that list down to 10. All right. So maybe you only write 10. That's fine. Or maybe you only write five. That's fine. And then what we're going to do once we're done with that is I want you to rank them in order of most important. Most important. So remember, if you could do this about trading and investing, great. If you're not there yet, just do it about money and wealth and rank them, one being the most important, 10 being the least important. And you might be saying, well, what are values related to trading and investing? Could be like I have down here in blue writing: consistency, following a plan. Profit is important to you in terms of a value. Structure, being structured in your trading and investing. Um, calmness is important to you in your trading and investing. Those types of principles, concepts, those are your values. So let's take 1 minute and a half, dump them on the page, and then I'll give you, we'll just do 2 minutes in total. Minute and a half to write. I'll let you know when that minute and a half is up, and then take 30 seconds and rank them. So it's a little speedy, but we're doing this just to try to capture what is in your brain so you can get it on the page and then rank them so this is as natural as possible. All right. So I'm going to hit the timer and let's go. All right, that's a minute and a half. Now go ahead and rank them. Well, actually, I'll give you 45 seconds for this. Rank them, one being most important, all the way up to 10, the least important. Got about 15 seconds. And I'll give you 5 extra seconds because that was a little tough. That's tough. All right. How many of you throw an eight in the chat? How many of you came up with 10 or more? Just curious. All right. A couple of you did. Awesome. Would anybody be willing to share your number one value about trading and investing or money? Just go ahead and type it in the chat. I'm just curious to see what you have. Oh, David, I like that one. Gratitude, financial freedom, having a plan to provide for family needs, follow my rules, freedom. All right, great. And what I would suggest too is if you have multiple words listed for the value, try to shrink it into one word because what we're going to do with this activity is put this all on one page so you have it in a document that you're going to have forever and that you're going to continually revisit. So just to give some feedback here, um, like if I look for what Brian G has, having a plan, that could be structured or organized, and you know that that means having a plan. Um, to provide for family needs from Wade, security, safety, right? That's a value that you have from in for your values. Tammy and George, follow my rules. Discipline, right? Try to encapsulate that in one word. Okay. Independence, great. We have freedom. Freedom. Rajon has freedom. Great. These are all great. Now, I'm just curious, and just again, no judgment here. What was your lowest ranked value? What was your lowest ranked? Staying strong. Nobody else? I'll tell you mine. I had contained, which means I have defined trading hours, staying within my 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. window, because sometimes I go over it and I'll trade beyond 11:30 and I'm like, darn it, you did it again. Anybody else willing to share their lowest ranked one? No judgment. Nobody's judging here. Don't be afraid. I got good strategy, David. Good strategy. Yeah, Brian. All good, man. I'm glad you're here, brother. All good. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you guys to do next. All right. Go through one more time this list. All right. Take 1 minute, and I want you to take from your list. So you might change it. Take the top five and turn them into just one word. Top five, turn them into one word. I'll give you a minute and a half for this one. All right. And rewrite the list top five values. Okay. Is everybody clear what we're doing? You're taking from your list that you had top five values, rank order, one being the most important. Five, the fifth one's still obviously important, but these are the most important values in your trading and investing. All right. Minute and a half, go. Pardon me for 1 second, guys. All right. And stop. All right. So now you have your top five values that are now going to drive and dictate your trading and investing. There's no secret anymore of what is most important to you and what you need to model and demonstrate in your trading and investing because you laid it out what's most important to you. And this is how this is all going to come together. You have your beliefs that empower you, that serve you and serve others. You have your values that drive your decision making. And so that alone, those beliefs and values are going to help you now continue to build out the system because you've thought through what it is that is most important to you. So for me, just going through this, confidence is my number one, trusting what I see. Two, calm, being stress free, not being afraid of the trade, win or lose. If I lose, it's going to happen. I had a losing trade today. Patient, letting the setup come to me, not chasing. Four, organized, structured, right? Disciplined. And then five, simple. I don't need 800 indicators on the screen. I have my bread and butter of what works. Stick with what's simple. Those are my five, right? And every day when I'm trading and I have these in front of me and I look at it, if I didn't follow that and I had a losing trade, which today, if I go back and look at that trade, I could see where I could have been better in adhering to my values. I probably could have avoided that trade. So that's what we're doing here. We're identifying what is most important to us, what we believe, and we're making sure that this is reflected in how we trade and invest. All right. So how's everybody feeling so far? Give me a zero if you feel like you're making some progress or maybe learning some things about yourself that you haven't thought about. All right, we got a couple zeros here. All right, I like to see zeros, not on my bank balance. All right, so now vision. We got two more things to do. Remember, I told you we were going to write a lot, so we're going a little bit longer tonight. We should finish in the next 17 minutes. We're going to talk about vision. And as a former high school principal, we used to have to set a vision for what we wanted to accomplish as a school. And you have different groups of stakeholders in the school. You have your community, you have families, parents, students, teachers, staff members, administrators, and we all had to believe in the common vision so that we could achieve our goals. And essentially, the vision is our why. It's our purpose for why we're doing what we're doing. And we want to have a vision for our trading and investing. And just like our beliefs, just like our values, it's going to guide and lead us every day so that we can get to our ideal trading and investing future. Because here's the thing, this may sound cliche, or this may sound corny, but it's not. If you don't know where you ultimately want to end up, that ideal, even if we never get there, but if you're not trying to get there, then you're going to either stay where you are or end up someplace worse. So you have to clearly define what that looks like for you, right? You got to be able to picture it, and it should be inspiring. It should be motivating, and it should connect with something deeper into you that pulls you forward. It shouldn't be something like, I just want to make money. I can tell you that if you're in trading and investing because I just want to make money, there's nothing bigger tied to it. That's not going to be enough to pull you through the tough times, right? Because you will inevitably face them in the market, right? It's got to be inspiring, motivating. It's your why. So let's look at some sample vision statements that some people may have for trading and investing. So here's one. My vision is to build enough wealth through long-term investing so I can buy back my time, protect my family's future, and never be financially stressed again. My vision is to consistently invest so I can create generational wealth, something lasting that my kids benefit from long after I'm gone. My vision is to master a skill that can produce income anywhere in the world and give me confidence, discipline, and control to live life on my own terms. So these visions really hit on a lot of what you guys shared through your values. Freedom came up. Well, that last vision really connects to freedom. Generational wealth, something that lasts for kids, will connect to what I talked about with my children. I know one of you had talked about, I think Wade, about security and safety. This first one ties to that. So these are sample vision statements. And what we're going to do now, just like we did with beliefs, just like we did with values, is I want you to write your own vision. All right. And I'm not expecting you to be Billy Shakespeare here, right? This doesn't need to be something frameable or anything like that. This is just, I want you to let this naturally come out of you and write it on the page. This is going to be your vision. And this is your why and your purpose for trading and investing. So you're going to ask yourself the question, why, what is your why and purpose for trading and investing? The second part of it is, what is the ideal future where this vision leads you to? And then the third part, what is the deeper meaning or driving force that is connected to your vision? Okay. So you saw a few sample vision statements. You see what should be included in it. So taking that, I want you, let's take 3 minutes for this one because this is a little harder. And I want you to write out your vision for trading and investing. It should include your why, what that ideal future is, and then what's that deeper thing that's going to pull you forward for when you're in those tough moments or when you stop believing. So write all that down in your vision. It doesn't have to be a ton of sentences. This doesn't have to be an essay for the Atlantic or whatever. This is you, right? Authentic you on the paper. 3 minutes. Go. I'm doing this with you guys. A minute and 15 seconds. In about 15 seconds. Right. And that is 3 minutes. Now, your vision is going to be deeply personal. So you don't have to share. I'm not going to ask you to share. Plus, it's probably going to be pretty long. But would anybody be willing to share any snippets from theirs? All right, David did. Thanks, David. So by providing for my family, I will afford them security and the ability to help others. Fantastic. Yeah. So it's supporting and taking care of your most important, which is your family, giving them that safety from what you're doing, and then paying it forward and helping others. Awesome. You get that deeper meaning, that driving force behind it that will pull you forward. Great. Brian G, to provide for my family and give me the freedom of time. Yeah. There's a quote I saw the other day where it said that true wealth is freedom, not money. And I would have to agree with that. That not having a schedule and just being able to pursue, what you want in life, is definitely a beautiful thing. Tammy and George, to live an abundant life in relationships, spirit, and finances. It's powerful. Yeah. So abundant not only financially, but most importantly, relationships, spiritually, things that oftentimes get overlooked in the stress of pursuing money, right? And Paulo, 100% freedom. Paulo, it's pretty clear the common theme throughout yours, which is good. Uh, Justin, create enough wealth to never have to choose between work or family. All right. Freedom there as well. Yeah. Awesome. This is all great, guys. Again, this is important work that you're doing here. Like I said, this is all going to come together here. But I'm really, really proud of what you're sharing here. And we got one more here from David. Sorry, I'm getting a little hoarse. Uh, to create generational wealth for my loved ones. This future allows them to have choices that they may not have and to be able to help many others along the way. That's powerful. I mean, that's going to pull you forward, right? In those dark moments or those challenging times, that's going to be your driving force. Hey, I've got to do this because I'm creating generational wealth. This gives choices to my family that they may not have had, and it's going to be able to help other people. That's motivating, right? There's a bigger picture to it as opposed to, oh, I just want to see my P&L go up, right? There's a bigger picture. That's great. Paulo, there's also security, wife and kids, and don't have to worry about food, water, roof, etc. Great stuff here, guys. I was gonna tell a dad joke here real fast, but I think I forgot it. What did the what I forget, what did the something say to what did the dog say to the little pony? You're a little horse or something like I don't know. Because my throat was hoarse. I botched that. All right, moving on. I'm not a comedian. I tried. Sorry. All right. All right, here we go. So this is the last part. Yeah, stick with what I'm good at. I need to. So your goals for trading and investing. So now the last part, goals. So we did beliefs, we did values, we did vision, and now we're doing goals. Okay. So you guys, your goals are the targets you are striving to accomplish on a daily basis. Okay. And it's very simple. That's what a goal is. What we're creating here is a system, but we have to have targets. And here's the thing about goals. Even if you don't hit your targets, you can't beat yourself up for that or say that you failed. For instance, if you set a goal that you want to generate X amount of profit in a certain month from trading and you don't hit that, but you come close to it, you're not going to beat yourself up and say, oh, you're terrible, you suck at this, you're no good at this. No, you still made progress. So that's what you have to be careful about with goals. You want to set goals so you have a target, but even if you don't meet them, you're still moving forward, you're still making progress. That's what's most important. All right. So these are the goals or targets that we're striving to accomplish on a daily basis. When we set goals, all right, I know some few people out here from the education world or probably people in industry are familiar with SMART goals. When we set goals, we want to make sure that they follow the SMART criteria, which means they are specific, right? They're very clear on what it is that we have to accomplish. They are measurable, right? Uh, Achieve $500 of profit in a week from trading or selling options, right? Something that's measurable, or complete complete 5 back trades on bull put spreads by the end of this current week. That's measurable. Attainable, meaning it's relevant to your skill level and your current capacity, but it forces you to stretch a bit. So, what do I mean by that? You don't want to have a goal that is so massive in the short term that is just going to set you up to feel like a failure. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, when I'll start working with students who are learning to trade, this is common. I fell into this category too. You want to make the money now. You want it all right now, right? The danger in that is when you try to push too hard too fast, is you end up getting wrecked, right? So we have to make sure that we're gradually moving up in progression to achieve the goal. So it's attainable for us where we currently are, but it does force us to stretch a little bit. And then once we hit that goal, then we slowly increase the difficulty of the goal. Yes, you blow it faster than you make it. Now, when we're setting long-term goals that are further down the road, 3, 5, 10 years out, you can make them very big stretch goals, right? Where it really is well beyond what your capacity is right now. But you have to keep in mind the time frame with that so that it is attainable. Relevant, meaning that it's relevant to what it is overall you're trying to accomplish, and then timely. The timeline isn't too long, it isn't too short. So all those factors should come into play whenever you're setting your goals. Okay. So then the next part of this, we are going to write out goals. All right. So this is going to be the final component of what we're doing here tonight. So what we're going to do is we have 5 things that we need to write. We're going to take 3 minutes for this one. We are going to write one short-term goal, and we're going to give ourselves 1 month. And I don't want you to make the start date for this January 1st. All right, because we're not going to finish this class until December. All right, so I want you to start thinking ahead to January. And actually, the first month where the goal takes place will be the end of January. So you'll have that full month of January to achieve it. Right. So you're going to have whatever that goal is going to be, you're going to have November and December to prepare yourself. All right. So, um, your short-term goal, 1 month related to trading and investing, or if you haven't started that yet, make it related to money. Okay. Then you're going to write one medium-term goal. Again, start with the new year, 3 to 6 months out related to trading. So that would be end of March or April, May, June, end of June. Then you're going to write one long-term goal, 1 year out related to trading and investing or money. So that would be December 31st, 2026. Then you're really going to go long, right? 1/2 decade goal. So 5 years related to trading. So go 5 years out. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Oh man, I don't want to think that far ahead. 2030. Where do you want to be with trading and investing? And then take it even further, 1 decade, 10 years from now, goal with trading and investing. Okay. So let's take 3 minutes and write these down. They don't need to be perfect. You're thinking, you've thought through your beliefs, values, you have a vision, Now transform that into goals. Where do you want to go? All right. Follow the smart goal process. Write these down. 3 minutes. Go. 2 minutes left. All good, Paul. I wish the best of luck to your friend. I'm so sorry. Got about 1 minute. 30 seconds. And stop. All right. So now you have your goals written. And I'm just interested to see what your 10-year goal is, if anybody's willing to share. 10-year goal, because that'll be 3,650 days from January 1st. Or share any goal that you'd like. 7-digit account. All right. Wade says 7-digit account. Awesome. Multimillionaire real estate mogul. All right. Donating to others. Great. And these are all inspirational things that will definitely push you forward. Anybody else? Create a small natural wildlife habitat. That's interesting. Awesome. Hunting property. Teaching my family to trade. Awesome. You can do that now too. Great. Awesome. So, guys, if you think about it for a second, what you've done here tonight, and I'll start wrapping this up because we did go pretty long, but I appreciate you guys sticking in here. You have built the foundation of the system that we are going to create now over the next 4 sessions. And everything that you did here tonight is the launching point. And you'll see how everything we do here moving forward in our next 4 sessions is just going to build. And what will happen when you leave here is Sure, you have the trading strategy, you have the technicals, the indicators, all those things, but now you're going to have a system. You're going to have a system. And if anything, you are going to be crystal clear on why you're doing what you're doing, what is going to drive you forward, what your targets are, and what it's going to look like when you get there. And having that written down is going to put you there aren't I don't I'm going to throw out like a top 5% of people who are in trading and investing are actually doing something like this, right? Because this shows that you're serious. You're here on a Thursday night. You could be watching Thursday night football, but you're here in a trading psychology class with me because I'm a trading nerd and I live this stuff. I love it. And we're talking about values, beliefs, vision, and goals for money, trading, and investing. So that tells me something that you have a genuine, sincere interest and passion for this. So capitalize on it, on this. Protect what you have written down here because here's the next thing. All right. Here's what I want you to do. Here's your homework. So I'm going to drop this in the chat right now. It's a graphic organizer where I'm asking you to take everything that you wrote down and you're going to plug it into this document. So let me show you it here. And I'm going to drop this in the chat real fast. So this is open where anybody with the link can view it and you can make a copy of this. All right. So let me share it. All right. So just go in, make a copy, come up here to file, make a copy. And then you're going to type in your name, make this yours. Right. You can change the font. You can do all those fun things to it. Your trading values, you're going to type them in here. Right. It's just what was my first one? Confidence. Right. You're going to type your trading beliefs down, trading and investing beliefs. You're going to type them in. You're going to type out your vision here, and then you're going to enter your goals. All right. What I'm asking everybody to please have done for the next session. Again, I told you I was going to ask you guys to do some work here so you get the most out of this, is have this filled out. This is not for me to have, but I want you to make a copy, have it for yourself, plug your information in here. And if you're willing to, share it with me. So you could just share it to my Courage Pays Better Gmail email or just send it to me as a PDF. I'd like to look at it. I will give you feedback on it. But you're going to keep this document because you're going to have several documents that you create through this process. And this is going to help you moving forward in your trading and investing. Okay. So this is a little tool that you guys can have to fill out. And I think I have a couple more slides and we're done. Again, we went long here tonight, but that's okay. Tomorrow's Friday. Right? All right, let me share this. All right, so that's the graphic organizer. So just a review, you guys crushed it. Beliefs, values, vision, goals. And now you have homework completing that graphic organizer. Put your information if you're willing to share that with me. Great. And when you email that to me, if you have any video ideas that you'd like to see on the channel, just send them to me. I have been sick here recently, so I'm just coming back from the dead. It was a pretty nasty bug that went through our whole house. But I am getting ready to ramp up my content. So if you have video ideas, drop them in an email, send that over to me. Be more than happy to put that together for you. And our next class will be next week, the 20th. I hope I will see all of you there for that, for class number 2. Real fast feedback. If you got value from tonight's session, give me let's get a 10. Can I get a 10 if you felt like, all right, we got a couple. Oh, I get 11. All right, cool. 100%. All right, sweet. Awesome. All right, that makes me happy. All right. So guys, thank you so much. I'm fired up. I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep because you guys got me all juiced up, but I appreciate you being here and your commitment to trading and investing. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. I'll be sending out the video recording from this tomorrow, along with a follow-up email. If you need anything, just reach out to me. I'm here to help you guys. You have my Courage Pays Better Gmail. If you have questions about trading outside of that, just reach out to me too. And make it a great day. Honor the moment. Brian, you're welcome, sir. Thank you to all you guys. Appreciate you. Have a good day.